we should have stoned you, for you are not strong against us.
قال يا قوم أرهطي
guide us التلفزيونية الفضائية.
The programs and the channel are all dedicated to what it is, why we need it, how we use it in today's world, in simple, right here on Guidance TV. This is Yusuf Estes for Guidance TV, bidding you peace. Salam. Salam alaikum.
And we're coming to you almost live from in Southern California. And I've got some very good news for you. We have an offer of 10,000 Qurans that we can give out for only $1 a piece. We give them out free, but we have to pay $1 for this is amazing offer. For this this particular translation into the English language is so great. Sahih International, and it has a lot of good things in it. MashaAllah. You can help and you can be a part of this. If you have $1, that's good. If you have $50, that's the minimum that we can do in a bulk. Then 50 or 100 or 200 or even 1,000, you'll get the rewards for all of the distribution that we do, and you'll get the rewards of the people who accept it, all of the things that they do for the rest of their life in Islam, you will get the reward. And even if only one accepts, mashallah, you get the reward of the one. Up to Allah, He can make it more and more and more. So I wanted to tell you that this is a golden opportunity for us to cash in on these days, the first days of Hijrah, the month of Dhul Hijjah, actually. So, yeah. And we do have a guest with us tonight. I would like to introduce him tonight. Some of you already know him very well because he's been with us since, well, basically the beginning of our efforts in when we had the COVID. MashaAllah, Dr. Sultan.
Yes, sir.
Salam alaikum. How are you?
MashaAllah, doing very good. How are you doing?
We missed you. It's nice to have you with us.
Yes, I'm always available.
MashaAllah. And that's a wonderful thing that you are always making yourself available for us. And MashaAllah. And I think that we've had a number of people thinking about what you had taught us about the fresh food and the fresh fruit and vegetables. One of the things that I remember very well is when you taught us about to eat the things that will rot before they do.
Isn't it so easy? Isn't it so simple? Isn't it so so comprehensible that you read thousands and thousands of books on nutrition, but you will not get the gist out of except this one sentence: eat what will rot and do it before it does. Eat what will rot and do it before it does. Simple.
Alhamdulillah. Eat it before it rots. That's a good idea. So, but what happens if you have food that doesn't have any shelf life marked on it? like it says indefinite or maybe 10 years or something like that?
Yeah, those foods massively lack in nutrition. To give you an idea, when you buy these canned foods, which can last months and months and years, the studies have shown that you lose 20 to 50% of the nutrition, various vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients and enzymes. See, one thing people do not realize the difference between when you talk about fresh meats, fruits, vegetables, grains, greens, beans. One thing they do not realize that the food is not just a composition of vitamins and minerals. If it was, we could just pop a pills and we don't have to cook and do all that stuff. But the fresh food has enzymes also in it, which are so essential for our health, being digestion, and also very helpful for overall well-being. And they have phytochemicals in them, the fresh ones, which are essential for overall health. So when you can the foods, then you're destroying all that stuff. To give you an importance between a live food and dead food is, let's say you take an apple and squeeze juice out of it. This is fresh, that's good, has all the enzymes, everything in there. And if you eat it drink it within 10, 15 minutes, that's good. But if you leave it for half an hour, or in the case of bottled juice, months and months and months, it is only thing left in there is water and sugar and no enzymes in it. So that's why I always emphasize on fresh meats, fruits and vegetables, because they're full of enzymes and all that stuff. When you can the foods, you're destroying all that stuff, but people do not realize that.
Can you tell us about nuts? Are nuts really important for our diet?
Yes. Nuts are very important. All kind of nuts. I don't differentiate between nuts except if you're sensitive to some of them. Some nuts like cashews and stuff like that, they're too many carbs, but still, I mean, they taste good, But good ones are almonds, pecans, walnuts, pistachios, and so these are the sunflower seeds. That's okay too. Pumpkin seeds, they're okay too.
Well, would you advise, and I'm just asking this, we didn't rehearse anything, but would you advise people who are allergic to nuts to stay even away from the things that say, for instance, it says that the place where this is made, it's not nuts, but it will say it has, the equipment has been used for nuts. Is that?
That's a very good and practical question. Now, what happens is, again, like nut sensitivity can be mild to severe. Those people, when we talk about real nut allergy, we're talking about people who get serious reaction. To give you an idea, one gal, the girls went on a picnic with the school, and everyone knew that this gal was highly sensitive to peanuts. So they made sure that they didn't have peanuts. But she used the spoon to spread other nut butter, which was used before for the peanut butter. And that was enough exposure for her to cause her a fatal allergic reaction. So yes, nut sensitivity can be so severe.
Oh, wait, doctor, you're saying she died?
She died, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was when I was in my training. I heard of that case. So, as a general rule, if food is prepared in the factory where the nuts, etc., are there, usually people can tolerate it But again, it is highly individualized. If you're highly sensitive to, then I would advise not to. But I've seen people who say that it really doesn't matter to them. Well, they have tested themselves. I don't advise them to test like that. But if they tested themselves and they have no reaction, then I think it's okay.
So any kind of nuts, it would be an allergy? Like we're showing on the screen right now some different, like almonds and a lot of different kinds of nuts. Peanuts, I see those, cashews. So what would you say about, is it possible that a person is only allergic to one kind of nuts?
It is possible, but generally you should avoid, because a lot of nuts are tree nuts, except the peanuts, which are underground. But most of them are tree nuts, and sensitive to one tree nut can mean sensitivity to other tree nuts. So I would avoid all kind of nuts.
All right.
That's the safest way to do, because if you had a serious reaction like difficulty in breathing or face swelled up or wheezing or feeling like passing out or actually passed out, then it is no fun or it's not advisable that you should play around with any kind of nuts whatsoever.
Okay, so we got that. Now let's go back to the food thing. What about some of the foods that are imported? What about some of the things that we'd like to have, but we have to order them from New Zealand or from Germany or from the UK or someplace like this?
So are we talking about the food in its natural form, for example, almonds, or are we talking about processed food like almond butter or crackers or cheeses and so on and so forth?
That's my mistake. I didn't qualify it, but I was thinking just in the example, because I've visited some countries and they import things from other countries, and we see that they're coming from a place that might be contaminated, or it might be a place that doesn't have the feature of halal. We have it here in the United States. You can, and most of the big cities, you can just ask for halal and they can order it for you, or you can go to a halal store and you can get all of whatever you want. But some of these countries, they have to import things, and then I don't know what the status is on some of those.
When I hear the word halal, we are basically meaning the meat, because everything else, all the vegetables and stuff like that, or nuts and stuff like that, the question of halal doesn't come. Halal comes only in terms of meats, and it doesn't come in the form of seafood either. So seafood is halal, although it may be makruh like shrimps and stuff like that, but all fish are halal. So there's no question about that. And yes, you are right that you can have, those people who sell halal meat, they may put a stamp on it. Or if you have any questions, you can search on the internet if this brand is halal or not, or other resources that you just mentioned that you can ask for Islamic resources which can verify certain foods if they are kosher, halal or not.
Okay, what do they call it whenever something is marked halal? A halal stamp is on it. What is that? Halal approved, or what would you say?
Well, halal only means that from the Islamic point of view, it is halal. For example, chicken is halal. But if it is, and you can call it halal, even though it was not sacrificed in the proper way, but the proper Islamic way of food is called zabiha. So halal is beef is halal, chicken is halal, and goat is halal. But how it was slaughtered makes the difference whether it is permissible in Islam or is not permissible in Islam. So zabiya is the real term we should be looking for. That is the closest, or that is the standard of meat being, from the religious point of view, Islamic point of view, being permissible.
Okay, we have something up here on the screen right now. It says Halal certified. The international certification Halal. I didn't even know that there was an international certification like that. Did you?
No, I don't. No, I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not familiar with it, so I can't even start talking about something I'm not familiar with. But I would like to mention that there is something that is called the Halal certification, and we see it a lot of times, and it's usually, if it's colored, it will be in green with white background or yellow letters or something like that. Is that right? Is that what you've seen?
I don't know about that. What I do is I buy fresh meat from shops who sell zabiya meat. So for me, it has never been a question. In any of these processed foods or packaged foods, I try to stay away from them.
All right.
So I have not I did not need to study that any in detail.
Now we have Eid-al-Adha coming up, and
Yes.
I would encourage everybody to be sure that you do some kind of a donation of meat or an animal, a whole animal if you can, or several animals if you can, because this will guarantee you a place in a real good place in the Jannah if you die as a Muslim, of course. And then the other thing it will guarantee you, because you're doing that for the sake of Allah, your rizq will increase. That's a known fact, and I've tried that myself, and I've been very pleased with that. I would like to encourage everybody to do as much as you can in these 10 days. And then on the day of Eid, that's when you want to have already made that contract with the place, and then go kill the animal and distribute the meat, or you get somebody to do it for you.
Yes.
All right. So
See, what I do, just give you because as Islam says that you should have 1/3 for the poor, 1/3 for your relatives and friends, and 1/3 for yourself. So what I do is I take 1/3, and 2/3 I just ask the place that slaughters the animal to give it to the poor, because there are so many poor people who hardly have a few times only in a year they may have meat. So this is a great source for us to do a religious obligation, and at the same time help the poor.
I think that's a good idea. I wanted to put up a picture of the animals. Oh, here's one right here. You can see these sheep have been selected because let me move it up so you can read it. Islamic slaughter sacrificial slaughter: udhiyah, qurbani, hadiyah, and aqiqah. So you can see that. And there's a certain way that you want to be able to handle the animal. You must be very careful how you slaughter the animal. It's not that you're just going to go out and stab it or something like that. You lay it down, and then you find the place on the throat, and then you have a razor sharp knife. Then you pass it over one time, and then the animal goes to sleep. He doesn't feel a thing. And then you distribute the meat out to your family, friends, and so on. So, did you hear anything about that today? In the khutbah. In the khutbah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm losing my voice.
Yes, in khutbah, of course, they from this point onwards, in every khutbah, they try to remind people about Qurbani and what the benefits and what kind of rewards you can get from them. But today was a very interesting subject of our Jummah, and that was about education, about Islamic education or any other education, because see, there are education was previously just a good, healthy information. Now there is heck lot of more misinformation. So it becomes so difficult to differentiate between what is the good information and what is the misinformation. And the way we are being communicated all kinds of information, including the religious information. The way the Imam was very clear on that, pointing one point that now we can go on the internet and our teacher, Google has become our teacher, you see. In the past, the way, the Islamic way is that the information is passed from heart to heart to heart to heart. And this is where the Prophet ﷺ, and after that his companion and sub-companions and, sub-companions, so on and so forth, the knowledge came. And that art is being lost after Prophet ﷺ. People will travel hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away to find somebody who was Prophet ﷺ's companion and get hadith from them, or if they heard hadith from somewhere, but knew that this person was companion, that they will travel hundreds of miles away, find that person just to verify that this hadith they heard, it is true and it is authentic. So those were the efforts just for one hadith. One person, one very important Imam at that time, went to Abu Darda. He was in Damascus at that time, after the death of Prophet ﷺ. And so just for one hadith, he traveled about 800 miles or 700 miles to get there. So that was the effort, that was the enthusiasm in which they learned. But anyway, things are changing. But again, the importance is that we should be learning from people, teachers, instead of getting from Google and stuff like that. So there is one very important principle in learning. You see, if you really want to learn something, whether it's religious or non-religious, there are three things that are essential. Number one, the book. Number two, the teacher. And number three, the student. So all three things are essential for you to learn whatever you want to learn, especially the religious matters. You can't just read Quran and draw your own conclusions. You just not cannot read Hadith and draw your own conclusions. Yes, you can to some degree, but if you have a teacher, then the impact is far greater and far lasting and far more clear message to you.
Yeah, we have a picture of Erdogan. Is looking over the shoulder of a boy who's reading, and it appears to be in Arabic because it's probably the Quran, because it's they're starting at the end of a book. That's not where you would start, so it must be Arabic, because that is the leaves of the pages are reversed. And I'm losing my voice. I hope you can carry the program, because Alhamdulillah. So what else did you learn today from the khutbah?
Well, that was the gist of it. What I learned from khutbah. It was good. A young imam. So he did an excellent job of giving the importance of learning and learning from the teachers and teachers and teachers and teachers.
Oh, okay. Well, now we have a picture of a masjid, or mosque as they call it in English, and we can see that the learning is a tradition, and the best remedy for all of us is to learn the subjects from a qualified teacher, not just, and I heard one of our scholars teaching in a video this morning, and he was saying that the subject was about paying attention, and a mother comes to him and she says, "Oh, my children, they don't pray, they don't fast, they don't do so and so and so," and he put a different twist on it for me. He said something about, he's telling the lady, he said, "How old are they now?" And she said, "Well, they're late teens." Okay. And how were they when they were little? She said, "Oh, they obeyed me. They did this and they did that." I would tell them pray, and they would pray. I would tell them fast, and they would fast, and they don't obey me anymore. He said, "Listen, if you encourage them instead of shouting at them and telling them, you pray." Many of the Muslims that I've talked to that are not Arabs, they don't know the difference between this word Salah and Dua. Now, you've heard us talk about it many times, so you already know, but the word Dua, that means to call somebody. You're calling Allah to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what you need. This is what Christians do. This is what Jewish do. This is what Hindus do. They all put their hands up just like we do. Well, the Christians go like this. I don't know how they're going to catch anything like that. Anyway, alhamdulillah. So we're saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us this or give us that and give us so and so. Huh? That's dua, is that right?
Yes, exactly right.
But whenever you do salah, that is a whole different word. So prayer or dua, this is one thing. But what is salah?
Salah is when you stand in front of Allah Ta'ala and sincerely recite how Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has taught us to recite various namaz, and then you follow those routine.
Well, you're describing exactly what you do. You're perfect on that. However, I'm just talking about the word Salah from the word Silla, which is to connect.
Connection, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew you knew
Make
that.
connection with Allah Ta'ala, yeah.
Yeah. So the connection with Allah for your dua. So we were praying, we can pray anywhere, anytime. We always are praying when we say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. This is a dua. And it's a dhikr. Actually, this is dhikr, remembering Allah. But then whenever you're asking, oh Allah, give me hidayah, give me this or give me that, and all of that you can do anytime. A woman can do that anytime, a man can do it anytime. But the salah is reserved for a special connection with Allah, and that's why the women, when they're in their menstrual cycle, they can just make dua, but they don't have to go out and do the salah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the difficulties that they're having, and He knows that there's flow coming out of them, and it's not right for them to have to do that. And so He's commanded them not to do that, but guess what? He'll give them the reward for that, and they didn't even have to do it. Now, I ask you, as a man in Islam, can you guarantee me any of the salawat that you have done in your life? You know for sure Allah accepted it.
Well, Allah Ta'ala knows the best. We can do most sincere.
You can't guarantee it though, right?
No, I cannot guarantee, no.
But a woman, she has 5 times a day for her whole menstrual cycle or period. Then if she says 7 days or 5 days or 12 days, whatever, that's all accepted as she did her salawat, her prayers. Is that right?
That's right. That's where the woman gets
And whenever women tell me that, oh, I wanted to be like a man, I want to be like a man, I said, whoa, you have things that we want. We don't have anything you want. We have hard work. We have, we're sweating out here and doing the work and doing if a woman realizes how many things that she has over the man, she would never want to come down to be a man, would she?
That is true. But this is unfortunately our modern times. If men have to exploit women, asking women to come to the stand of the man, which really takes away their grace, because they just want women to be part of a show and what not. You know what I mean? And you need to say the specific words. So you use them as a means to make money. Whether it's advertisement, this or that, and so on and so forth.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Okay, so we're going to take a short break right now. And then when we come back, we'll be having more discussion with Dr. Sultan about this topic. And be sure that you remember to support the effort of your local masjid. Be sure to go to their gathering on Eid Day. And with that, we're going to ask you to just stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV.
Yeah, man.
وقناة Guide Us التلفزيونية الفضائية.
The programs and the channel are all dedicated to true faith, what it is, why we need it, how we use it in today's world, in simple English, 24 hours a day, right here on Guide Us TV. This is Yusuf Estes for Guide Us TV, bidding you peace. Salam. Salam alaikum.
ووظف الشيخ يوسف التكنولوجيا في عمله الدعوي من خلال المواقع الإلكترونية، مستخدما اللغة الإنجليزية بشكل مبسط وممتع لضمان سهولة فهمها من قبل الحضور، بالإضافة إلى استشهاده بالقرآن والتعاليم الإسلامية خلال حديثه.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Yusuf Estes with really good news. But first, many people are hearing things about Islam, but they are not getting the right message. So the best time to get the right message out is right now. And we have the best way to do exactly that with Allah's support and your help. We've got our projects, our websites, satellite TV channels, and now we can reach every home on the planet, inshallah. Let's make that difference together. It's easy. And be my dawah partner. Guide Us TV, watched by many, loved by all, new Muslims, young Muslims, born Muslims, non-Muslims, all enjoy it. Guide Us TV, never ads, always free. Let's keep it free, no ads. Support and share, and get guided with Guide Us TV.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. A way of
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I wanted to repeat what I said in the beginning because this is critically important for us. We're giving out these Qurans, and one of the places we do it is in the prisons and the jails. In all of the United States and Canada, we can send these out. Also, for anybody who is not a Muslim or is thinking about Islam or a new Muslim, they can go on our website, afreequran.com, afreequran.com, and they will be able to have one mailed right out to their door. No shipping, no charge, no packing or any of that. It's going to be free. I want that to be, even after I'm in the grave, I want that to be continued, giving these out for free. We have a chance, a one-time chance, to have all of our needs met. 10,000 Qurans, which will be able to last us for about 3 months. Yeah, 10,000 Qurans for only $1 each. $1 each. Usually, you even wholesale, you pay $6.80, $6.90, almost $7, and then the freight, which is maybe 50 cents more in bulk. However, this is our chance to do this right now, and if you want to get the reward for it, do it before the Eid-al-Adha, because if you do it now and then get the rewards multiplied humongous times, very, very much. You can get these rewards, and it would just for $1 but you're helping somebody get the message of Islam. I've talked to 3 people this week, 3 people, and watched 2 of them enter Islam, and then I met 2 today, so that would be 5 people that we had to get out. We got out the Quran to them, and they appreciated it, they read it, they had their questions, and they had the answers, and they accepted Islam. So if you would like to get the rewards, do what you can. But in the bulk, if you do it by 50s, that's really easy for us, because in the box, So 50, 100, 150, 200, so on, or 500. 500, it's just $500, but look at how you are expanding Islam by sending these out, and they pass it on in the prisons and jails and the universities that we send them to. They pass them on, and they get the big one that's heavier. They can't carry it with them, but they don't mind. And also they can get our free app for the Quran online, and they can open it up and do that. But to start with, this is a really good way to get them started, because it's free, and I don't burden anybody with that. I take the burden myself. What little bit is a difficulty, but if you can help us do that, we're making dua for you, and continuous dua, even to the grave. So we're asking Allah to bless all of our supporters and bless all of our donors, to make it clear to them in their life that what they're doing is the right thing. If Allah shows you that you're doing the right thing, then you don't need me. Yeah. And you shouldn't need anybody to start with. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is number 1. All right, so you know how to do that. Go to dawahpartners.com, dawahpartners.com, and you'll see how to do this, because we can do that. Oh, I didn't think about that. This new system we have, dawahpartners.com. Let's see if we can make it happen. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Hey, there's a good-looking guy. Alhamdulillah. All right. Shall we get him talking? Let's see if we can. I've never done this before.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Yusuf Estes with really good news. But first, many people are hearing things about Islam, but they are not getting the right message. So the best time to get the right message out is right now. And we have the best way to do exactly that with Allah's support and your help. We've got our projects, our websites, satellite TV channels, and now we can reach every home on the planet, inshallah.
And one of the ways that we can do that is with our free Quran project. We have it listed on that same website. Let's go back to that website. Now you see, you can choose how you want to do this. There are different ways that you can do this. For instance, you could do something per month, a one-time donation. You can give $100 and support these Qurans that we're talking about. This one right here. It's the Sahih International. And it's really a good example of a nice translation. of course, we would like for them to learn the Arabic along the way. I have a book here that we're working on right now. But that's another story. We'll talk about that later. So, what can you get out of doing all of this? Well, let's find out. What will you get? First of all, we make dua. We make a lot of dua for all of the brothers and sisters who are helping us and spending their efforts and their time to do exactly what we're talking about. They are sharing the message, they're praying for us, and they're donating something every month. This is your chance, your opportunity to make up for a lot of mistakes. Seriously. And we know what we're talking about. Mistakes, I make them every day. So that is one thing. You get the prayers and the du'as, the exclusive updates, a detailed annual report, but also a welcome gift, exclusive early access to a lot of our things. Now, and also the most value are the huge rewards from Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking care of your needs and your du'as, answering your du'as. You'll be surprised how Allah can answer your du'as. All right, now what about our particular projects? I'm really losing my voice now, aren't I? I'm sorry about this. And Dr. Sultan is praying right now, so he's not going to be with us for that duration. Okay, so we have the first Islamic TV channel in the United States, and I might add, the only TV channel. Now, we're not talking about just being on the social media. We put the very first video on YouTube when it started for Islam. Yes, 2004, I think it was, 2005. Yes. And you can see, if you type in Islam, even now, you'll see some of our videos out there. Now, another thing is that you can support the dawah that we're doing. We're giving out the Qurans, as you know, but we're also covering all of the North and the South of America with our dawah online and in Spanish. The one I was talking to today, he speaks Spanish, and that's a real big asset to us. And his bosses are both from Afghanistan, and they're helping him to learn more about Islam. Yeah, and he told me he's fasting already. So, yeah, I was really happy. And I hugged him. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, so we reach millions of people all over the planet. Yes, we do. But what does that really mean? That we're the years in Dawah, we've had 30 plus years. Actually, I made Shahada in 1991. All right? Some of you weren't even born. Anyway, we have, it says here, 4,200 in the last few months. We've acquired so many more websites. We now have over 5,100 plus. 551 something. 5,100. And all of this is in our trust, the Estes Heritage Foundation. What about the websites? Okay, let's take a look at some of our websites. I would like to share that with you. And by the way, that's called shareislam.com. And here it is. MashaAllah. The Share Islam project is a really big project because it has so many of our websites involved in it. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, here we go. Now, it starts with what's Islam. And you notice whenever you roll over the image, you see it get up bigger? Huh? Yeah. That was when we did that, that was the newest feature on the market. And then you can go to godallah.com. Now, what happens if you do click those? Let's do that one. What'll happen? Well, okay. Now, you find a lot of information here, and it's always going up like that. You see the facts. But what about, I want to share with you this, the videos. And this is still on the first one. Let's click it and see what it does.
What's Islam? That's a question many people are asking today. And early Islam is the topic of many discussions. Yet very often, people don't really have the essence of the meaning. Even Muslims themselves are not really sure how to translate it. The word Islam is the only word not translated from the Quran when they bring it to the English language. And there's a reason for that. When we go to the Arabic dictionary, we find that it takes a series of words to represent the concept of what aslama means. Aslama is the verb for the noun Islam. It carries a meaning of surrender, submission, obedience, sincerity, and peace.
Okay, and now, what about this second video over here? Let's see what that says.
What's Islam? Again, we come back to the very same question. What does all of this have to do with Islam? Well, we talked about what the word meant, and then we talked about what the word Muslim meant. We talked about the word Allah. We found that Allah meant the name of the only God to worship. We talked about the prophets of Almighty God, and we even talked about their message, teaching people to worship only one God. We got into the subject of the books. We mentioned Torah, Zabur, Injil, and Quran.
You can see right away the advantage that this would offer to a non-Muslim, especially the Christians. If they see this and know it, just that one website. This is one website with all of this in it, okay? But guess what? There's a whole lot more. Let's check that out. Let's go back and see what we can find out about. Let me see if I can do that. All right. Okay. Whenever you, when you see and hear and understand the value of what we're doing here, you'll be surprised, really surprised. One of the things that we have is videos. Another thing that we have is audios that you can listen to. I'd like to show you one of those if I can make it work. I've never done this before on the television broadcast. Okay. There we go. And I see the doctor is back with us, mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You're just in time to wrap it up. Tell us some of the advantages that you see coming from Islam in the near future.
Well, this is being fortunate, being born in the Muslim family or becoming Muslim and following the Islamic tradition and Islamic way of life, because it gives you, see, Islam is really living by the commandments of Allah Ta'ala, who is our creator. And the rules and regulations, what he has made, who knows better how to take care of this human body than he himself, who is the creator. So all the rules and regulations and all the restrictions he had put on it, it is because of our own good. We may not understand what the benefit of that is, but do this and don't do this and follow this commandment and not follow your own wishes and whims. It keeps you on the right path. One of the great scholars taught me something very, very interesting and very powerful, which is I think is the gist of the whole teachings of Islam. And he said that if you want to be successful in this world and the life thereafter, follow the commandments of Quran and his Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If you want to be successful in this world and the life thereafter. So even if for people who are materialistic, for them, if they follow the guidelines what Allah Ta'ala has given and commanded, our Prophet has properly taught us those things, we cannot fail in this world.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. We were showing everybody the websites that we have. Here's another website. It's called God Allah. And if you go into that website, you'll be surprised of we don't do pictures or images of God, obviously, but when we do that, when we do this, when we have an audio there that you can listen to, and alhamdulillah, we don't have time. Now, that's the bell to wrap it up, and we got to do that right now. So in closing, I want to tell you that go to the Share Islam website and you'll be able to see all of our websites. You will see so many of them. And these are just a few of our websites, but this will help you. It's all under one website, shareislam.com. You go there and you'll be amazed. Doctor, you have anything to close out with?
Yes, as we said, that's the way the life is. Follow Allah Ta'ala's commandment and his Prophet's commandment, and you'll be successful in this world and thereafter.
Yes, and remember, success is getting what you want, but happiness is wanting what you get.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, with that, we'll say Salam Alaikum and stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. A way of life, a way of life, a way of life.
Guide Us TV, watched by many, loved by all. New Muslims, young Muslims, born Muslims, non-Muslims, all enjoy it. Guide Us TV, never ads, always free. Let's keep it free, no ads. Support and share, and get guided with Guide Us TV. Guide Us TV, watched by many, loved by all, new Muslims, young Muslims, born Muslims.